What's up everyone, Nick here, and it is finally time. Welcome to my Resident Evil 4 Professional Difficulty No Damage walkthrough. This is one of my favorite video games of all time. I am very excited to be bringing you this walkthrough. I don't think I've ever put so much effort into a series than I have this one. I'm going to be starting a new game from scratch on the hardest difficulty, which is Professional, and throughout the entire game I will never take a single hit of damage. Like I said, I'm very excited for this walkthrough. I hope you guys are too. If you're new to the channel, as always, I will show all of the cutscenes and everything like that, but I won't talk over the cutscenes so that you can enjoy the story if you'd like to. Otherwise, you can skip the cutscenes and just go straight into the gameplay. But here we go.
Resident Evil 4.
$1998. I'll never forget it. It was the year when those grisly murders occurred in the Arklay Mountains. Soon after, the news was out to the whole world, revealing that it was the fault of a secret viral experiment conducted by the international pharmaceutical enterprise, Umbrella. The virus broke out in a nearby mountain community, Raccoon City, and hit the peaceful little town with a devastating blow crippling its very foundation. Not taking any chances, the President of the United States ordered a contingency plan to sterilize Raccoon City. With the whole affair gone public, the United States government issued an indefinite suspension of business decree to Umbrella. Soon its stock prices crashed, and for all intents and purposes, Umbrella was finished. Six years have passed since that horrendous incident. I received special training via a secret organization working under the direct control of the president. I was to assume the responsibility of protecting the new president's family.
Cornel, why am I the one who always gets the short end of the stick?
You, who are you really? Come on and tell us. You are a long way from home, cowboy. You have my sympathies.
Guess that's a local's way of breaking the ice. Anyway, you know what this is all about. My assignment is to search for the president's missing daughter.
What? All by yourself?
I'm sure you boys didn't just tag along so we could sing Kumbaya together at some Boy Scout bonfire. Then again, maybe you did.
Oh, you crazy American. It's a direct order from the chief himself. I tell you, it's no picnic.
I'm counting on you guys. It was right before I was to take on my duties of protecting the president's daughter when she was abducted. That's the ultimate reason I'm in this lonely and rural part of Europe. According to our intelligence, there's reliable information about a sighting of a girl that looks very similar to the president's daughter. Apparently, she's being withheld by some unidentified group of people. Who would have thought that my first job would have been a rescue mission?
It's freezing. So cold all of a sudden. Must be my imagination. Sorry it took so long.
Just up ahead is the village.
I'll go and have a look around.
Yeah, we'll stay and watch the car. Don't want to get any parking tickets.
Right. Parking tickets.
Good luck.
Jeez. Who are these guys?
Did you say something?
Leon, I hope you can hear me. I'm Ingrid Hunnigan. I'll be your support on this mission.
Loud and clear. Somehow I thought you'd be a little older. So the subject's name's Ashley Graham, right?
That's right. She's the daughter of the president. So try to behave yourself, okay?
Whoever this group is, they sure picked the wrong girl to kidnap.
I'll try to find some more information on my end as well.
Good. Talk to you later. Leon out.
Alright guys, let's get into it. So, most of you are probably at least somewhat familiar with this game. But as you know, the first level here has a bunch of little short and choppy cutscenes after that kind of long introductory cutscene. So what we're going to do is approach this house right here. Before going inside, however, you're going to go around to the left. There's a box that you can break and hopefully get some treasure inside. As always, you know, the things are kind of randomized, but you should be able to get treasure in that box more often than not. And now we're going to go ahead, go inside, and be introduced to our first enemy.
Excuse me. Sir? I was wondering if you might recognize the girl in this photograph?
¿Qué carajo estás haciendo aquí? ¡Lárgate, cabrón!
Sorry to have bothered you.
Freeze! I said freeze!
So simple takedown here, one shot to either the face or the knees, go up for a melee attack, and then finish it off with a knife.
Is everything okay?
There was a hostile local. I had no choice but to neutralize him. There are still others surrounding the area.
Get out of there and head toward the village. Take whatever measures necessary to save the subject.
Understood.
Okay, so things are going to sound like they're getting pretty hectic. This music gets your heart racing, you hear enemies outside. The enemies will not actually come into the house, so what you're going to do is jump out of this window on the top floor, turn to your left, and just run down this path. And just run, and if you're fast enough, you can actually outrun the enemies and they'll lose interest and the music will stop playing. But eventually, you're going to just turn around if that doesn't happen, and you'll see a couple of these guys chasing after you, so you can just go off and finish the job. Now, especially this early on in the game, even though it's professional difficulty, the enemies will take more hits to put down, but this early on in the game, they do go down pretty quickly. So you'll see the best way to conserve your ammunition is to just shoot the enemies in the knees, they'll fall down, and then you finish them off with a knife. When you're knifing an enemy, try to position yourself so that you can knife their head. That way, you know, you can cause even more damage. And then again, you know, this early on in the game, you won't have to worry about the Las Plagas parasites or anything like that, so you have no fear of getting too close. I know later on in the game, if you're knifing an enemy, at any second their head could burst open and out comes the parasite, which can immediately hurt you. But like I said, this early on in the game, you won't have to worry about that. Those won't come into play until, I believe, Chapter 2-1. Now make your way down the path here. You'll see this dynamite trap between the trees. You can shoot that if you'd like to. Also be careful, there are a couple bear traps littered around the area. Now this guy here, we're going to get him to strike at us, back up, and then just run around him. I could have honestly just run around him without prompting him to attack. But yeah, we can just run past that guy. Now we're going to go into this house here, this little shack. There's a couple boxes with items that we can get. There's also a member of the Los Illuminados pitchforked to the wall right there. You could barely see her. Now these two guys, we're going to do a similar thing. Get him to strike at us, get him to strike at us, and then just run around both of them. Now that little trick there, it looks difficult, but it's really pretty simple. What you want to do is you want to walk up to an enemy, get just close enough to trigger them to attack you, and then as soon as you see them about to strike at you, you just take a couple steps backward, they'll miss, and then you can run around them. Now this guy here, you can also run past him. What you'll notice, I was able to take him out with just one shot. Again, shoot the kneecaps, he'll fall down, and then finish it off with a knife. I'll talk about some of the general strategies that I employ throughout this entire playthrough in this first video, but before that, let's go ahead and watch another cutscene, and then we'll get to the notorious village sequence.
Leon, how you holding up?
Bad question, Hunnigan.
Sorry to hear that. I'm sending you a playing manual. Hope you find it useful.
I'll take a look at it, thanks.
Alright guys, so after that cutscene, you're going to approach the village, and this is one of the most, I guess, famous or infamous moments in the game, if not all of video game history. I'll never forget the first time I played this game. I was on the edge of my seat, heart racing, adrenaline pumping, fighting a seemingly endless supply of Los Illuminados. It's a terrifying sequence, but this is one of my proudest strategies. So what you're going to do, just run past all of these guys. Jump over this fence, and head straight to this tower, climb up the ladder, and we're going to stand in a particular corner. You cannot just climb up here and stand anywhere you want. You have to stand in this corner right here. And you can either face the wall or you can turn away from the wall. It doesn't matter. Now you're going to notice here I sped up the video. The reason I did that is because this entire sequence, it is not about how many enemies you kill, it is about how long you can survive. You have to survive about 3 minutes, and after you survive that total of 3 minutes, the villagers will automatically go away, the sequence will be over, and you'll be free to carry on. But the amazing thing about this strategy is you can see that they are throwing Molotovs up here. They are throwing them, but because of how I'm standing in this corner, the Molotovs will always miss me, no matter what. I've done this strategy numerous times, and I have never once been hit by a Molotov. This is perhaps one of my proudest strategies, because one of my friends, Chris, he told me that in the official Prima strategy guide for this game, they specifically say that you cannot do this. They say it won't work. The game is programmed so that this won't work, but as you can see, it does.
Oh, la campana.
Es hora de rezar. Tenemos que irnos.
Lord Sattler.
Where's everyone going? Bingo? Hunnigan, I have some bad news. I've confirmed the body of an officer. Something's happened to the people here.
Leon, you need to get out of there. Look for a tower and follow the trail near it.
Got it.
So I sped up the footage while I was hiding in that tower. I'm going to do the same thing here because after the sequence is over, you'll have kind of free reign over this little village area here. And you're going to run around and just get a number of supplies. So there's a yellow herb, there's a red herb, there's a green herb somewhere. Most importantly, the biggest things you want to get is the ammunition. I keep getting mixed up with words. Ammunition and the shotgun, which of course I'll show you where all of those are. But really, like I said, you have nothing to worry about here. All of the enemies have gone away. So take as much time as you want exploring this area. Make sure you didn't miss anything. There's no way anything here is going to hurt you, so you have nothing to fear. So just, check every building, check every corner, get as many items as you can find. But like I said, the most important things are the shotgun and all of the ammo. So up here in this house right here, on the second floor is the shotgun. There's also a frag grenade, I believe. There's also a treasure on the roof of this building, so you're going to want to make sure to pick up that as well. And so let's take this time to talk about this walkthrough. I am very excited to be bringing you this walkthrough for a number of reasons. And the most important thing is, like I said, Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. And I could get, more specific on that. What I mean by that is specifically the first 2/3 of the game make up my favorite game of all time. So this game takes 6 chapters, or 6 acts, I should say. I love Acts 1 through 4. I love everything about them. Well, almost everything. But Act 5, I really kind of despise. And Act 6 is just a boss fight, so there's not much to love or hate in that situation. But this is one of my favorite games of all time. And a number of years ago, when I first started my channel, I did a walkthrough for this game. And you can find that walkthrough on my channel. However, I would advise you to not watch that walkthrough. Now we're going to come to the farm here, and the farm is pretty simple. There's a number of enemies, I want to say about 6 or 7, and we're just going to pick off one by one. So you can see that as long as we don't stand in the middle of the map, we don't risk all of the enemies kind of converging on us. So we're going to go over to this left side of the farm first. You'll notice again the biggest thing I'm doing here is conserving ammo. I'm shooting them once or twice in the knees, they fall down, and then I finish the job with a knife. Now that's something you're going to see me doing throughout the entire walkthrough, but most importantly here in the beginning, it's really of the utmost importance. One, because the enemies die quicker, so you can knife them with ease, but two, during the beginning of the game here, this is what really kind of determines your success in the rest of the walkthrough, because during these first 2 acts of the game, this is where you really have to focus on building up your resources, conserving ammunition, and so it's obviously very important that, this guy right here, I could have killed him by shooting him in the head 4 or 5 times, sure. Or I could shoot him once in the knees and finish it off with a knife. And so why would I, I have infinite knife. The knife is an infinite supply. You never have to worry about the knife breaking. So why would I not use the knife when I have that option? So that's definitely what you want to focus on doing. Again, throughout the entire walkthrough, throughout the entire game, but most importantly, throughout the first couple of chapters. Now, some of these enemies, you'll notice that guy there, I kind of panicked because some of the enemies will have these little hatchets, and they throw the hatchets with very impressive accuracy, believe it or not, and those will be the biggest things that mess up your no damage playthrough. Is they'll throw these hatchets at you, and you might just not see it. You might try to dodge it, and you fail, and it will obviously take some damage and ruin your day, and you'll have to restart the checkpoint and everything like that. Now we've killed just about every enemy in the area, so now once again, just like in the village, we have kind of free reign over the area. So we're going to run around and get these resources. Now right here, again, like I said, this is an older game. Most of you are probably pretty familiar with it, but you'll find this blue sign here telling us about these 15 blue medallions. There are 7 in the farm area, and there are 8 later on in the graveyard area. And so you have to shoot 10 of these. You don't have to get all 15, you only have to shoot 10 in order to get a free pistol. And so one important thing to note is that this pistol we have right now, you don't have to worry about upgrading this weapon. Later on when we meet the merchant, don't worry about upgrading this because we're going to be getting rid of it pretty quickly. So as soon as we get those 10 medallions. Now, of course, like I said, in this initial farm area, there are only 7. So we're not going to be able to unlock that free weapon just yet. But yeah, make sure you do get all 7 here. That way you only have to get 3 later on in the graveyard area. And an important thing to note, so this farm area, one of the biggest things in any survival horror game, but in particular this game here, and specifically with my walkthrough, you're going to see there's a lot of areas that I just run past. I dodge the enemies, I run through the entire section without ever firing, more than a couple of shots. And that is very critical, because that helps you conserve ammo, and, it also reduces your risk of getting hit if you just decide to not even fight the enemies. So this farm area here, this is an area that you could run through. You could run through this entire section pretty simply, and you'll be successful. You won't take any damage, and it's not that hard to do. But when you do that, it makes it harder to shoot the 7 blue medallions. So this is one of the areas where I advise just killing the enemies so that you can kind of roam the area, get all the resources, and get the 7 blue medallions. And like I said, you know, it's kind of like this cost-benefit analysis. You know, we are spending ammunition to kill all of the enemies in the area, but the rewards outweigh those costs. You know, the ammo that we pick up, the treasures that we pick up, the blue medallions, those far outweigh the small number of bullets we'll have to spend fighting in this area. So this is an area where I actually recommend just killing everyone and, you know, looting the resources, because if you run through this section, it makes it a lot harder to get the necessary treasures and, of course, the blue medallions. So like I said, this is an area where I just highly recommend you kill all of the enemies. And that kind of brings me to my next point. So as you go down this path here, you're going to have to dodge a boulder by these pesky villagers. So go ahead and just press the prompted button, and then you'll have to do a dodge at the end. And then we're going to have one more combat sequence which deals with some dynamite throwing enemies, which turned out to kind of work to our favor. Now, one thing I want to stress before the end of this video, guys, I put a lot of effort into this walkthrough. I practiced every single level of the game 1 or 2 times before actually recording the level, because I wanted to make sure I had everything perfectly. I wanted to make sure I had the best strategies. I wanted to make sure that I did things the safest way, but also the most efficient way. And at the end of the day, I am very proud of this walkthrough. Now, for these dynamite throwing enemies, what you're going to want to do is aim slightly above their head, and as soon as they throw the dynamite, just shoot, and the game will register that as you shooting the dynamite, and because you shoot it while it's directly above their head, the explosion should kill them. Now, the hardest part about this section is there's a couple enemies inside. What you're going to do is go around the right side of the house. Again, just kind of be cautious of bear traps. But you'll see there's a couple enemies inside here. And so I tried to shoot that guy before he could run away. But I'm going to kind of sneak on the left side here, and you're going to see there's one more enemy with dynamite inside. So what I'm trying to do is shoot his dynamite stick so that it will explode both enemies. Like you see right there, it exploded him. Somehow, though, the guy that was lying on the ground walked away undamaged. So I'm just going to finish him off and then once again kind of loot the area for some treasures. And that will actually bring us to the end of this level. But anyway, guys, like I was saying, I put a lot of effort into this walkthrough. I truly believe that, and this is not me trying to brag or anything like that, but just kind of an honest observation, which you're free to disagree with, of course. But I honestly feel like this might be one of the best walkthroughs to be put on YouTube. I am just very proud of this walkthrough. The fact that it's a no damage walkthrough, I wanted to talk in this video about why I decided to do the no damage walkthrough. To make a long story short, and I'll elaborate on this in future videos, but my original walkthrough for this game is abysmal. I can't even watch it. I'm ashamed of it. I feel like I did a disservice to this video game. The walkthrough is just bad. It's not a walkthrough. If anything, it's a professional playthrough with a lot of mistakes, and it's a walkthrough that I am just very ashamed of. And so I wanted to make amends to this game. I wanted to right my wrongs, and so I wanted to do a professional difficulty walkthrough the right way, and then I thought, you know what? That's not enough. I want to show this game. I want to show this game how much it means to me, and the way that I feel like I can do that is to truly master this game, and that, my friends, is why I decided to go with a no damage walkthrough. Again, I'm very excited for this, very proud of it, and I truly think it's going to be both helpful and entertaining. Let's watch the closing cutscene, and I'll join you at the end of the video.
Little rough, don't you think? You're not like them?
No. You?
Okay, I have only one very important question. You got a smoke?
Got gum.
Perfect. The big cheese.
What?
So there you have it, everyone. That is the end of Chapter 1-1. I hope you enjoyed. If you are new to the channel, feel free to like and subscribe if that's something you're interested in. Otherwise, guys, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Let me know if you're excited for this walkthrough, because I know I am, as I've said probably 7 times. Anyway, I will see you in the next video.